And if I say right brain, does that mean anything to you?
No.
Yeah, like right brain's more logical, and or maybe practical, and left brain's more abstract.
Actually, it's just the opposite.
I know one side of the brain does one thing and one side of the brain does the other thing.
I don't think you can convince a skeptic about the right brain if they don't understand the concept. So that'd be hard to do.
Right, I've even thought about this a little bit. How would I convince who again?
Okay, well, the regular way of thinking definitely isn't working. So you have to find new ways.
I think right brain is vital to the entire future of Chattanooga, not just art. I would shudder to think that if you had all left brain thinkers running the community in every aspect of life, it would be a drab, losing situation. That right brain's needed not only just in the art culture of your community, but it's in the business and the education and the social environment and the networking.
Well, I would take it at an individual perspective, from an individual standpoint of development, like consider the individual and his or her potential contributions to a group, a society, in that personal development arises in the individual.
By not taking the right brain outlook into account, you will miss out on all these different things that will be totally unexpected and inexplicable to a left brain person.
Art should not go by the wayside.
I think they can spend less money and concern on athletics as opposed to music programs, things that that people, like I said, take for granted, but don't necessarily think are important.
Put art teachers back in the school, in every school.
I think at the school level is one way you can reach the kids. It's the best way probably to reach children with the arts, because you have a captive audience.
I think it would be, if you are going to have a public school, to be morally wrong to not have some kind of funding for art.
Very tricky there, because they try to put limits on those age kids, and they tend to do better outside of the limits.
Develop more of an experience-based curriculum where students are somehow supported to begin the process of self-direction and self-definition.
They have to express creativity in everything they do. They have to bring the creativity out of the kids and impress on the kids and the teachers that that's an important function of an education.
I don't know that you actually need to convince people of that. I mean, you might try to convince them about what form they should approach trying to support creativity, but anyone in any type of business has had situations where they've had to be, less logical or to deal with conflicts between your employees. You could go to, the law firms or the banks downtown, and you could find people that actually are quite creative in their decision making or just getting problems solved.
Ask for their ideas, I guess, instead of telling them what to do. Ask them what their ideas are and really listen and not just be doing it, to improve morale or whatever like that, but follow through on some of this stuff. Encourage employees to give their ideas, no matter how dumb they may seem to the employees.
Just let you know that it was okay to think of other ways to solve problems, that made it clear that if you didn't just do things one way, that it's fine as long as you're trying to accomplish a goal.
It'd be very nice if there was more involvement in the arts.
But I don't think that you'll get people from the rural areas until the county and the city do some serious work on public transportation.
What do you think about persons participating in art?
That's a good question. I need to think of a good answer.
Support the artists,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in doing what they do.
You know, people appreciate the arts, I think, more than people give them credit for.
Government should invest more in the arts, and not just through school, but through grants and through programs. But the how, of course, is the problem.
In any job you take, and if you're an artist, if you own a theater, you still have to pay your bills. You have to keep up your accounts, account for all your merchandise, your warehousing things.
You know, if the governments get involved and maybe support just a little more, then, you know, maybe they can spend money. Like Nightfall is a good example of, you know, excellent arts, you know, and money well spent.
For a local government, my argument would be that people enjoy the way that art expresses human thought and feeling, and that when people see art within their community, art that's, whether it's privately sponsored or civically sponsored, I think it produces a reaction in them, and often it's a good thing.
Funding for the arts is important for the community, and it draws people to the community. It's part of the infrastructure. It's part of the viability of a community, and it demonstrates that the community is forward-thinking and improves the overall habitability of the community. If we come down here, is there a culture?
Lots of great things come into this town, but lots of people don't know about them because they're not promoted. I find that on a weekly basis that I wish I'd gotten to see somebody that I didn't get to see because I didn't find out about it till it was over.
I think that right-brain thinkers would be attracted to the city for art and the art culture when they feel comfortable that their input is important and valued.
By advertising, by letting people know that things are going on.
Maybe with a wide range of offerings between price, you know, the low dollar budget, and the exotic, and then the plain, you know, and the ones who can and are able to spend more, then there's more expensive things that are offered as well. But when I hear art show, I usually think that that's something that not for me.
I don't know. My right brain isn't working.